Hello there, very good Saturday evening. This is Primetime News. I'm Joel Outspoon. First, the headlines.
4 top officials at loss-making Sri Lankan Airlines enjoy monthly allowances of over 3 million rupees. Activists criticize the Central Expressway irregularities. MP Sunil Handunetti issues a warning to state sector employees. Arjuna Lawyers provides a statement to detectives assisting the Presidential Commission of Inquiry. Shiranti Rajapaksa appears before the Bribery Commission. Northern Chief Minister talks of issues in the province with the Malwatu Chief Prelate.
And some developing news here at home this evening. Now, various views were expressed today regarding the issues and irregularities that have emerged regarding the construction of the Central Expressway.
The government says that we are getting loans from other countries, so they have to build the roads according to the way that they want. Next, they will say we cannot pay off these loans, so we have to sell these roads to those countries. This is what happened to the port as well. Their estimates are about 3 times or 4 times higher than the regular estimate for the highway project. The contractor for the Maithripala stretch of the expressway is from China. Advisory services are also being provided by China. The Central Expressway is the same. There were lots allocated for local companies, but they changed the planning completely and are giving the work to Japanese companies at their estimated cost, because the loans are coming in from Japan. The people will have to pay off these loans. Note this very carefully. Eventually, we will have to sell these roads as well.
The government has decided to obtain a commercial loan for the Central Expressway. The estimated cost for constructing 3 feet of this road has been set at 4.1 million rupees. We need to ask the Prime Minister, are you paving this road with gemstones or are you going to use gold instead of tar? The entire country knows today about the central bank bond scam. We have our doubts as to whether this is also another scam that is taking shape.
Magadiyaka pera nimittadda me pinnum karanne කියන සැකේ අපට මතු වෙනවා.
Still in developing news, now JVP parliamentarians Sunil Handunetti and Namal Karunaratne delivered a warning to all state sector officials today.
Dilan Perera said, if you sleep with the dogs, you will have to wake up with the fleas. By fleas he means the 2 people who were imprisoned. Then, who is the dog? He should be sent to jail as well. They should have known better. They shouldn't have acted just because they received an order from higher up. 600 million is not a joke. They spent this money on silk cloths. The officials should accept responsibility for it. However, it is the Rajapaksas who should actually be imprisoned, not them.
Lalit Veeratunga has been caught up in this verdict. This shows that the people who will be sacrificed are the state officials. This is a small victory for all those state officials who work honestly with a straight backbone. Don't work according to the instructions of politicians because they won't go to jail. The former president will go to visit Lalit Veeratunga in prison. Such incidents occurred and continue to occur in institutions like Sri Lankan Airlines, the CTB and other state institutions. Jobs are given based on political requests. Tasks are carried out with the necessary permissions. This is how you will have to pay for all of this. State officials who were oppressed by the Mahinda Rajapaksa regime are now facing the law. Similarly, state officials who work according to the tunes of the present members of the government will face the same situation. The state officials should point the finger at politicians and tell them that they are not prepared to work according to their whims and fancies. The former president said that the Prime Minister was surprised by the ruling. We are surprised by this statement. We saw that Mahinda Rajapaksa had a discussion with the Prime Minister in Parliament soon after the verdict was delivered. 24 hours later, the 2 individuals who were in good health were transferred to the prison hospital. If this continues, we will have to change our slogans from jail the corrupt to hospitalize the corrupt.
And in news from the President's Diary this evening, President Maithripala Sirisena graced the opening of the 40th Udagamana Concept Village in Maithripala, Dimbulakala.
The village named Saduraskama was built at a cost of 35.7 million rupees. Title deeds were given to 34 families, while housing loans and equipment were presented to another 684 families. Minister Sajid Premadasa also presented the 2016 Housing Needs Survey report to the President at the occasion.
I believe Minister Sajid Premadasa and his staff will be able to complete construction of the expected 2,500 villages during the tenure of this government and bring a sign of relief to the homeless. Therefore, we will give our support to the minister and staff to fulfill this task. For the past 6 months, we imported rice to the country. We did it not because we wanted to, but because there was a severe drought that affected agriculture and the drinking water needs. Water is still being provided via Bowsers.
The war heroes brought an end to the conflict and awarded us an era where we can live with dignity. I must make it clear, the government under the leadership of the President and the Prime Minister will not allow anyone to lay a hand on the war heroes. The Good Governance government promises to build another 2,000 villages when we reach 2020. I wish to announce we will face the next presidential election and the parliamentary election after awarding 2,500 Uda Gammana concept villages to the country.
Uda Gammana 2500ක් රටට දායාද කරලයි කියලා.
Here's an eye-opener to all our viewers. Now, the national debt as of the 30th of September 2016 was 9,402 billion rupees. While the debt burden of our nation increases on a daily basis, this burden has to be borne by the people of Sri Lanka. A major contributor to the country's debt burden is the country's national carrier, Sri Lankan Airlines, which is inefficiently managed by a few executives who take home very high remuneration packages. Many staff members of the airline who are dedicated to tirelessly serving the airline and the nation are disappointed with the sorry state of affairs of the company.
According to the financials of Sri Lankan Airlines, the company recorded a loss of 28 billion rupees for the 2016-17 financial year. The company covers its current expenses through a 7.5 billion overdraft obtained through state banks. Sri Lankan Airlines, which is our nation's global ambassador, has fallen into disrepute, mainly due to mismanagement of officials and irregularities pertaining to the transactions of aircrafts. Even though the airline is drowning in debt, there are 4 officials in the top management of the airline who continue to enjoy monthly allowances of over 3 million rupees. The main responsibility of the Chief Commercial Officer of Sri Lankan Airlines is to increase the commercial viability of the airline and transform it into a profit-making entity. Following the incumbent government coming into power, Siva Ramachandran, who was residing in the United Kingdom, was brought down to Sri Lanka and appointed as the Chief Commercial Officer of Sri Lankan Airlines on the 1st of January 2016. According to the 2-year contract Siva Ramachandran signed with Sri Lankan Airlines, he is to receive a basic monthly wage of 9,500 sterling pounds. According to the current exchange rate, that translates to nearly 2 million Sri Lankan rupees. In addition to the basic wage paid to Siva Ramachandran, the taxes he owes the government are borne by Sri Lankan Airlines. The perks afforded to Siva Ramachandran include a company-maintained vehicle, chauffeur and fuel, a monthly allowance of 250,000 rupees for accommodation and free air travel. For 19 months, that is from January 2016 to July 2017, Siva Ramachandran has earned a sum of 41,892,166 rupees from Sri Lankan Airlines. During this time period, the airline paid over 6 million rupees as income tax on behalf of Ramachandran. Suren Ratwatta serves as the Chief Executive Officer of Sri Lankan Airlines. He is the brother of Charita Ratwatta, who is the advisor to the Prime Minister. While Suren Ratwatta is among the officials who enjoy a monthly remuneration of over 3 million rupees, Sri Lankan Airlines failed to respond to legal requests made to provide information on Suren Ratwatta's salary particulars. Even though 4 top officials at the airline continue to enjoy monthly remuneration packages of over 3 million rupees each, Sri Lankan Airlines had to bear an extra cost of nearly $2 million for failing to return an Airbus A320 aircraft rented from an Indian company within the stipulated time period. Recently, Sri Lankan Airlines lost its certification from the European Aviation Safety Agency, or the EASA, based on a number of shortcomings. What is the benefit Sri Lankan Airlines gained by paying 4 top officials a monthly remuneration of 3 million rupees if the company is suffering staggering losses of 28 billion rupees? Won't this burden too finally have to be borne by the people of this nation? Will this not affect the reputation of our country in the international arena?
We will reveal more information on the loss-making aircraft transactions of the airline in the near future. With that, we move on to some news still at home this evening. Now, Prime Minister Ranil Wickremesinghe presented aid to the tea industrialists in Galle who were affected by the recent floods.
Monetary donations were made to tea factory owners and tea smallholders. From 2005 to 2014, the country's debt increased by 233%. The loans were not concessionary loans. They were commercial loans. We required 1,147 billion rupees from the GDP to pay the debt. Our revenue is 1,127 billion rupees. So the debt is higher than the revenue. Because President Maithripala took over the nation and established a national government, we managed to increase the revenue. We hope to generate an additional revenue by 2020.
Now, many areas in the Central Hills continue to experience heavy downpour. The people settled in areas where sinkholes took place as a result of the Uma-Oya multi-purpose development project are now forced to live in fear.
The people who were badly affected by the Uma-Oya multi-purpose development project are facing a far worse situation with the continuing heavy rainfall. Yesterday, a discussion took place in Dik Arawa Bandarawala on the difficulties faced by the people.
If the NBRO report is produced, the people can take a decision without fear. We have not received any such relief. They only come here for our votes. I purchased these lands. We are facing a very bad situation. We don't have water to drink or bathe. This is the situation we live in. Come take a look for yourselves. There is nothing for us. Nothing was given to us at all.
We retired to live in peace at home after serving in the military. One side of my house has caved in by 3 inches.
The people from Puhulpula in Valimada, who have been inconvenienced following the work on one dam under the project coming into effect, have been relocated to Meeranawatta area. However, they do not have the basic infrastructure facilities such as water, electricity and roads.
At night, we light a fire and stay awake fearing if an earth slip would take place.
These locals point out, as a result of the waste water from the project site above them flows through their neighborhood, they are facing several issues. Water springs in many areas dried up several years ago due to the excavations that take place from Karanagolla to Puhulpula and Dairaba under the Uma-Oya multi-purpose development project.
You're watching the weekend edition of Primetime News. Time now for some national development news.
The newly constructed building complex at the Poonawa Isipatana Central College in Anuradhapura was declared open by President Maithripala Sirisena. The building was constructed under the Langama Pasala Hundama Pasala project. An amount of 170 million rupees was allocated for the construction of the building complex. Additionally, 27 classrooms, a modern laboratory and a sports ground with a 400-meter racetrack have also been constructed.
On a news that we at News First has been closely monitoring and following. Arjun Aloysius of the Perpetual Group was at the Presidential Commission for the 3rd time today. News First, Zulfiq Farzan reports on Bondgate.
Arjun Aloysius arrived at the Presidential Commission at around 9:30 this morning to continue with a statement that he is providing to the investigating officers of the Criminal Investigations Department who are assisting the Commission. Aloysius left the premises this afternoon and will appear again tomorrow morning. Aloysius is providing a statement following a notice that was issued on him by the Presidential Commission of Inquiry. Yesterday, it was announced at the Commission, President's Counsel Gamini Maithripala, the brother of Minister of Foreign Affairs Tilak Maithripala, will be appearing for Arjun Aloysius. In addition, when previously deleted phone calls from the Perpetual Treasury's limited phone calls recording system were played at the Commission, it came to light that Arjun Aloysius had inside, confidential and price-sensitive information ahead of Treasury bond deals. Arjun Aloysius, who is the ultimate beneficial owner of Perpetual Treasuries along with Jeffrey Aloysius, is expected to give evidence before the Commission in the coming week. However, his present attorney, President's Counsel Anuja Premaratna, announced he objects Aloysius giving evidence before the Commission, and the Commission ordered the Counsel to make submissions and produce an affidavit from Aloysius.
On yet another story that made it to the headlines this evening, now former First Lady Shiranthi Rajapaksa arrived at the Bribery Commission today to provide a statement regarding the Cyrilia Foundation.
Shiranthi Rajapaksa visited the Bribery Commission at around 9 this morning. Her statement was recorded for around 2 hours.
Ever since this government was elected, we make constant visits to this place. It's like going home. We don't need to tell anyone. However, they looted the central bank and ruined the trust on the country's economy in the face of the international community.
Welcome back to the news. Northern Province Chief Minister C.V. Vigneswaran called on the Mahanayaka of the Malwatu chapter of the Siam sect today.
The Chief Minister visited the Malwatu temple and called on Mahanayaka of the Malwatu chapter, the Most Venerable Tibet Bhave Sri Sumangala Thera.
There are 89,000 widows and we are unable to provide employment for them. They have no means of making ends meet. The fishermen are unemployed. We have many such issues. The people in the south must know what is happening over there, so they too would understand the situation.
They need to be given means of employment. You must inform the government of the shortcomings. This must be resolved through dialogue.
The Mahanayaka Thera presented a Buddha statue and a book of the Dhamma to the Chief Minister. Civil activists from the north presented a letter to the Mahanayaka Thera highlighting the issues in the province.
There are many misunderstandings, that is why I called on the Mahanayaka Thero. He understood the situation. After the 2013 elections, he did not visit the north, so we invited him to visit us again.
The inauguration of academic programs in international relations for the academic year 2017 at the Bandaranaike Centre for International Studies was held in Colombo this morning.
Till last week, everybody was dead scared that we might not live this week, right? Because two equally interesting, capable personalities were threatening nuclear war. Thanks to the shock and awe of Mother Nature, thanks to Hurricane Harvey and Hurricane Irma, it's very ironical that, the last week we didn't see anybody nuking each other. The news died down. That's how volatile, how transforming global situation is. So to understand that, make sense of it, and to kind of put that into a context, how it relates to us, is the job we do. We help you to do.
The keynote address at the inauguration event was delivered by the Group Director of the Capital Maharaj Organisation Limited, Siobhan Daniel.
The fundamental ingredient in the creation of a happy, peaceful and prosperous nation is the laying of the foundation for sustainable development. Overcoming the prejudices of prosperity and basic human living conditions is a significant national challenge and international responsibility. The speed at which technology evolves is several multiples of a government's ability to create policies to manage that change. For instance, I'm yet to see a political party in Sri Lanka that has unveiled its strategy to manage the impact of artificial intelligence on the Sri Lankan job market.
A number of BCIS alumni also shared their views with the aspiring students of BCIS during the event held today.
Since of late, Sri Lanka Armed Forces have become the center of attention due to their greatest achievement in defeating and eradicating terrorism in Sri Lanka. However, there emerged a number of other issues as post-conflict challenges. The country is presently saddled in between security and development challenges. As a nation state, if we are to emerge as a stable economic hub in the region, then we have to find permanent solutions to these challenges. Once we overcome that, of course, as one nation, then I believe we can boast of many victories in future.
Malta is a drop in the ocean. Sometimes you can see it in the maps. It's less than 200 square kilometers, the entire country. But they are the #1 ship registered in the EU, and they have a national maritime policy. In our fisheries ministry, they don't know what is happening with the environment ministry. They don't know what is happening with the ports authority. That is because simply we lack the national interest in our country.
The Good Market is yet another social interaction concept which has become a success story today. Through this, the Gammad initiative, which aims to uplift the lives of rural Sri Lanka, has managed to reach out to a large urban population.
The gum at the stall at the Good Market continues to receive a great response from the city dwellers. The objective of this stall is to raise awareness on the upliftment of the lives of the rural people.
The Good Market is a good place, and we feel that after Gammadda came here, more people are coming. Why I admire Gammadda is that it doesn't distribute money like some others distributed silk cloth. They help people to stand up on their feet. That is what needs to be done.
We are very happy that Gammadda came to the Good Market. Thanks to this, we have been able to go among the people.
From the looks of it, this has resulted in good exposure for the products here.
In some tragic news, now a mother and son riding a motorbike died after being involved in an accident with a pickup truck in Anguruwathota, Horana.
According to our reporter, the motorbike which crashed onto a pickup truck next to the Heneguda bridge fell into the canal. The victims were a 47-year-old mother and a 24-year-old son. Police believe the accident was a result of the SUV driver falling asleep at the wheel. He has been taken into police custody.
Indeed, an idol who will always be missed, but his music will always live on. On that note, we wrap up this edition of Primetime News. Thank you for stopping by. If you missed out on any of the stories, log on to our website, www.newsfirst.lk. I'm Joel Outspoon. Take care. Good night.